You know that feeling when you wake up in the morning, and before your feet even hit the floor, your mind is already spinning with everything that could go wrong today? The emails that are probably waiting for you, the conversation you have to have with your boss, the financial situation that's been keeping you up at night, the relationship issue that you're not sure how to fix, the health concern that you can't stop thinking about. Yeah, that feeling. It's like your brain won't give you a single second of peace. It just goes through this mental checklist of worst-case scenarios, and suddenly, what could have been a normal Tuesday morning turns into this weight that sits on your chest before you've even had your coffee. I get it, and I'd be willing to bet that if you're watching this right now, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Here's the thing, though. There's this idea that keeps coming back to me, and it's something that I think we've all heard before, but maybe we haven't really let it sink in. It's the idea of trusting God with today. Not tomorrow, not next week, not the promotion that might happen or might not happen. Today. And I know that might sound simple, maybe even too simple for whatever you're dealing with right now. But stick with me, because I think there's actually something really profound hiding inside that simple idea. Let's talk about what we're actually doing when we don't trust God with today. When we wake up and immediately jump into survival mode, anxiously planning every minute, trying to control every outcome, we're essentially saying, I've got this. I don't need help. I'm going to think my way through this problem. I'm going to worry my way to a solution. I'm going to stress myself into success. And look, I'm not judging here. I've done this. I do this. It's a very natural response. Our brains evolved to spot problems and solve them. That's actually a good thing in a lot of ways. But there's a difference between being thoughtful and being anxious. There's a difference between planning and obsessing. There's a difference between being responsible and thinking that everything that happens is entirely on your shoulders. When we don't trust, we operate from a place of scarcity. We assume that if we're not thinking about the problem constantly, somehow it won't get solved. We assume that if we're not anxious enough, we're not taking things seriously enough. We assume that our worry is somehow productive, that it's somehow keeping things from falling apart. But here's what actually happens. When you live in that constant state of anxiety and control, your body stays in a stress response. Your cortisol is elevated. Your sleep suffers. Your relationships suffer. Your decision-making actually gets worse because you're not thinking clearly. You're thinking from a place of fear. And the irony is that the person who's operating from that place of fear is actually less equipped to handle whatever comes their way than someone who's found a way to rest and trust. Think about the last time you made a really good decision. I'm guessing it wasn't when you were panicked and stressed. It was probably when you had some space to think clearly, when you had some sense of calm, when you weren't in full defensive mode. So what if trusting God with today isn't actually about abandoning responsibility? What if it's about the opposite? What if it's about actually freeing yourself up to be more effective, more present, and more capable? Let me reframe what trusting God with today actually means, because I think we sometimes get this wrong. It doesn't mean sitting around doing nothing and expecting God to solve all your problems. That's not trust. That's actually avoidance wearing a spiritual costume. Trust is going to your job and doing your work excellently. Trust is having the difficult conversation that needs to be had. Trust is making the doctor's appointment. Trust is creating a budget and sticking to it. Trust is all the things you're supposed to do. But you do them without the weight of the entire world resting on your shoulders. Trust is doing your part and releasing the outcomes. This is really important, so let me say that again. You do your part. You do what's in your control. You work hard. You show up. You try. You plan. You prepare. But you release the outcomes. You stop obsessing over things that are outside your control. You stop assuming that everything depends entirely on your effort. Because here's the reality. So much of what happens in your life is not directly under your control. You can't control how people respond to you. You can't control the economy. You can't control whether someone else will hire you or promote you. You can't control whether your body will cooperate with your fitness goals on the exact timeline you want. You can't control the weather, traffic, or whether someone decides to end a relationship. You can control your effort. You can control your attitude. You can control how you respond. You can control your integrity. You can control showing up and doing the work. But you cannot control the outcomes. And the moment you accept that, something shifts. Because suddenly, you're not responsible for the whole thing. You're responsible for your part. And you trust that there's something bigger than you at work. Whether you want to call that God, the universe, divine providence, or whatever makes sense to you, you trust that there's something bigger, and you're not carrying the entire weight by yourself. That's what it means to trust God with today. You might be wondering why this matters so much. Why this idea keeps coming up in every major religion and spiritual tradition. Why it's not just something people talk about when they go to church, but it's something that philosophers, therapists, psychologists, and basically anyone who's thought deeply about human well-being keeps coming back to. It matters because anxiety is the opposite of faith, and most of us are living in a constant state of low-level anxiety. We're anxious about money, even when we have enough. We're anxious about our health, even when we're healthy. We're anxious about the future, even though we can't actually know what it will bring. We're anxious about what people think of us. We're anxious that we're not doing enough, not being enough, not achieving enough. And that anxiety is exhausting. It's literally draining you. When you trust God with today, what you're actually doing is breaking that anxiety cycle. You're saying, I'm going to do what I can do today, and I'm going to trust that it's enough. I'm going to trust that if something comes up that's beyond my capability, I'll have the resources to handle it. I'm going to trust that I'm not alone in this. And when you actually feel that trust, not just intellectually understand it, but actually feel it in your body, in your nervous system, something changes. Your shoulders relax. Your breathing gets deeper. You sleep better. You make better decisions. You're more creative because your brain isn't in survival mode. You're more present with the people around you. You're more able to notice the good things happening right now instead of being locked into worry about what might happen later. This is not some abstract spiritual concept. This is practical, neurological, physical reality. When you're in a state of trust and safety, your parasympathetic nervous system activates. That's your rest and digest system. Your body can actually focus on healing and functioning. But when you're anxious and in control mode, your sympathetic nervous system is activated. That's your fight or flight system. And your body is in survival mode. You cannot be in survival mode all the time without it destroying your health, your relationships, your joy, your potential. So trusting God with today is actually an act of self-preservation. It's not weak. It's not giving up. It's actually one of the strongest things you can do. So how do you actually do this? How do you go from understanding this concept intellectually to actually living it? It starts with a simple daily practice. And I mean simple. You can do this in less than 5 minutes. When you wake up, before you check your phone, before you jump into your to-do list, pause. Take a few deep breaths and consciously decide, today, I'm going to trust God with today. You can say it out loud if you want. You can write it down. You can just think it, but make it intentional. Make it a decision. Then, go through your day as normal. Do your work. Show up. Try your best. But whenever you feel that anxiety creeping in, whenever you catch yourself obsessing over something outside your control, pause again. Take a breath and remind yourself, I've already decided to trust God with today. I'm doing my part. I'm releasing the rest. This is a practice. It's not something you do once and then you're done. It's something you do over and over again, every single day, until it becomes more natural. Some days it will feel easy. Those are the good days. Some days it will feel nearly impossible. Those are the days when you really need it. And that's okay. The practice itself is the point. There's also something really powerful about writing things down. If you're lying awake at night worrying about all the things you have to do tomorrow, get out of bed, grab a piece of paper, and write them down. Everything. Every single worry. Every task. Everything that's keeping you awake. Then close the notebook and go back to bed. Because here's the thing. Your brain only needs to remember things you haven't written down. Once it's written down, once it's externalized, your brain can actually let it go. You've told your brain, this is handled. It's written down. We can rest now. This is such a simple practice, and it's so effective. It's like taking the pressure off the dam. Another practice is gratitude. At the end of each day, just notice 3 things that went well. 3 things you're grateful for. Not because everything was perfect. Not because you don't still have problems. But because there was good in today. There always is. When you practice gratitude, you actually retrain your brain to notice the good things instead of only focusing on the problems. And that's huge because your brain's natural tendency is to focus on threats. That's the negativity bias. It kept our ancestors alive by focusing on dangers. But in the modern world, it just keeps us anxious and depressed. Gratitude is an antidote to that. I want to tell you what I've noticed happens when people actually start living this way. At first, nothing feels different. You still have the same problems. You still have the same job, the same relationships, the same challenges. Nothing external has changed. But something internal starts to shift. You start noticing that you have more energy. Because you're not pouring all of your energy into anxiety and trying to control things you can't control. You actually have energy for the things that matter. For the people you love. For the work you're doing, for enjoying moments instead of always being in crisis mode. You start making better decisions. Because when you're calm and grounded, your prefrontal cortex, the thinking part of your brain, is actually online. You're not making decisions from a place of panic. You start noticing that things actually work out. Not perfectly, not without any challenges, but they work out. You get through Tuesday. You handle the conversation with your boss. The bill gets paid. The relationship either gets better or you get the clarity you need. Life just keeps happening, and you handle it. And here's the thing that really surprises people. When you're not spending all your time worrying about everything, when you're actually present for today, you notice opportunities. You notice connections. You notice kindness from people. You notice beauty. You notice that there's actually a lot of good happening. You've just been too anxious to see it. This is not toxic positivity. This is not ignoring real problems. This is clarity. This is the difference between seeing your situation clearly versus seeing it through a filter of panic. People start to notice that you're different too. When you're less anxious, you're easier to be around. You're more present in conversations. You're not constantly projecting your stress onto everyone else. Your relationships actually improve because you're not carrying that weight into every interaction. And yes, things still go wrong sometimes. That doesn't change. You still have bad days. You still face real challenges. But there's a difference between going through a challenge and being consumed by the anticipation of challenges that might never even happen. Now, I want to talk about the spiritual side of this, because I think it's important. When you trust God with today, you're not just doing something that's neurologically smart. You're also entering into a relationship with something bigger than yourself. You're acknowledging that you're not alone. You're not the only intelligence operating in your life. You're not responsible for everything. And that's actually deeply comforting. There's a reason that throughout human history, across all different cultures and religions, this idea of trust in a higher power keeps coming up. It's not because people are weak. It's because people who deeply understand how reality works recognize that they're part of something much larger. When you actually believe, not just say you believe, but actually feel it, that God is good, that God cares about you, that God is working for your good even when you can't see it, everything changes. Because then trusting God with today isn't about gritting your teeth and pretending you're okay. It's about actually resting. It's about actually feeling safe. It's about knowing that someone who's more powerful than you, who actually cares about you, is in control. That's not weakness. That's wisdom. There's a quote that I love, and I don't even remember who said it, but it goes something like, "When you pray, you're basically telling God about your problems. When you worry, you're telling God that He can't handle your problems." That stuck with me, because it's true. Worry is like prayer to the wrong thing. You're putting your energy and your focus on something that can't actually help you. You're praying to the God of anxiety instead of the God of love and provision. So trust isn't passive. It's actually very active. It's actively choosing to believe. It's actively choosing to redirect your focus and your energy. It's actively choosing to rest instead of stress. Now, I know that some of you might be thinking, this sounds nice, but I have real problems. I have a diagnosis. I have debt. I have a family member who's sick. I have a job that's on the line. This trust thing sounds good in theory, but my situation is real. And I want to be really clear. I'm not dismissing your situation. Your problems are real. Your struggles are real. And I'm not suggesting that just by trusting God, everything will magically be fixed. But what I am saying is that your problems are real whether you're anxious about them or not. And your ability to actually handle them, to actually think clearly about them, to actually move toward solutions, that ability is better when you're calm than when you're panicking. The trust doesn't make the problems go away. The trust makes you stronger in the face of the problems. There's also this obstacle that a lot of people run into, which is, if I trust God, does that mean I shouldn't try? Does that mean I should just give up and let things happen? No, absolutely not. This is actually the opposite of that. When you trust God, you're free to actually try your best because you're not carrying the weight of the entire outcome. You're free to work hard, to show up, to do your part excellently, and then to release the outcome and trust that whatever happens, you'll handle it. This is the sweet spot. This is where productivity meets peace. There's another obstacle, which is doubt. Maybe you've tried this before. Maybe you prayed about something and it didn't work out the way you wanted. Maybe you trusted and then got disappointed. And now you're not sure if you can trust again. I get that. I really do. Disappointment is real. But here's the thing. Trusting God doesn't mean you always get what you want. It means you believe that God is good and that He's working for your good, even when you can't see it, even when things don't go the way you hoped. Sometimes the answer is no. Sometimes the lesson is harder than you expected. Sometimes the journey is longer than you wanted. But when you trust that God is good, you can trust that He has a reason. You can trust that even the hard things are serving your growth and your good in ways you might not understand yet. That's not naive. That's actually the deepest kind of wisdom. Here's something important that I want you to really understand. When we talk about trusting God with today, we're not talking about some abstract future day. We're talking about right now. Right now, in this moment, there's probably nothing that's actually wrong. You're probably okay. You probably have what you need. The catastrophe you're worried about is not happening right now. Your mind might be showing you pictures of catastrophes. Your anxiety might be telling you that disaster is coming. But right now, in this actual moment, you're probably fine. This is something that can actually anchor you. When you feel anxiety rising, when you feel that panic starting to creep in, check in with yourself. Look around. What's actually true right now? Right now, in this moment, am I okay? Most of the time, the answer is yes. You're okay right now. And when you focus on right now, when you trust God with right now, suddenly it becomes manageable. It becomes doable. Because you're not trying to manage your entire future. You're just trying to handle today. There's this prayer that people use sometimes that goes like this. Give us this day our daily bread. Not yearly bread. Not the bread for the next 10 years. Daily bread. What you need for today. That's trust. That's the idea that if you trust God with today, He'll provide what you need for today. And then tomorrow, you trust Him again. And the day after that, you trust Him again. It's this daily renewal of trust. This daily decision that today, I'm not going to carry the weight of the whole future. Today, I'm going to do my part and trust God with his part. So let me ask you this. What if you woke up tomorrow morning and made a different decision? What if, instead of immediately jumping into your list of worries, you took a breath and said, "Today, I trust God with today"? What if you did your work, showed up for your responsibilities, but you let go of the anxiety? What if you actually believed that you don't have to control everything to be responsible? What if you noticed what's actually good in your day instead of only focusing on what's going wrong? I think you might be surprised at what changes. Not tomorrow. Tomorrow you might still feel anxious. But over time, day by day, as you practice this, as you choose this daily, you might start to feel lighter. You might start to sleep better. You might start to laugh again. You might start to actually enjoy your life instead of just enduring it. Because here's the truth. Your life is happening right now. Not someday when you've solved all your problems. Not when you've achieved your goals. Not when everything is perfect. Right now. Today. And today is worth living. Today is worth experiencing. Today is worth showing up for and enjoying, not just anxiously pushing through. So trust God with today. Do your part. Work hard. Show up. Try your best. And then release it. Let go of the weight. Trust that you're not alone. Trust that there's something good happening even if you can't see it yet. Because maybe, just maybe, everything is going to be okay. And even if it's not, you're going to be okay. You're going to get through it. You always do. So take a deep breath. Right now, in this moment, you're okay. Trust that. Trust God with today. You've got this.